It's Righteous Watch. We back in limbo. Today we're going to be talking about, are you tired of chasing your dreams? My question to you is, what if the real power is letting them effortlessly come to you instead of chasing it? You get what I'm saying? Because a fish doesn't come to a fishing hook. It only gets to the food, which is the worm hooked to the fishing rod. Manifesting your desires is not supposed to feel like a struggle at all. The key in manifesting things into your life and letting things to come to you is through the path of least resistance. I'll be breaking down how you can effortlessly bring things into your life without a form of struggle. I'll be breaking down what the path of least resistance is, but the first thing you must understand to understand the path of least resistance is when you want to bring things into your life and attract things and manifest or whatever, like whatever you might want to call it, you got to understand that you start to realize these type of things through what's closest to you in your current state. It could be mentally through your thoughts, be physically in noticing things physically in a different manner, and many different things that you the way you catch your eye to things in a sort of manner. Think of your goals. Your goals is something that you express through your individuality, and that's something you upload, express in the universe. But when you want to bring in information from the universal laws, you would end up downloading things into your system, and those are perceived as things that you receive, like thoughts and feelings, right? Aligning yourself with your journey through the thoughts that you receive and feelings that you receive, and through what you choose to express in that cycle and manner, will end up making the process seem seamless at the end, because you're just putting out what you want and getting back things that you could correlate with, getting back thoughts that you can correlate with these actual physical things that you want to get, or these mental states you want to achieve. We're going to segue to willpower and choices from the path of least resistance. Willpower is finite, and relying on it too much would often lead to burnout. Since willpower is finite, you want to limit your choices, and limiting your choices towards actions, towards things that you're aligned with and closely branched off with through the fundamentals of things that you're closely attracted to. For example, if you keep receiving thoughts, or let's say you're around a community of a lot of Hispanic people, but you don't speak Spanish, maybe speaking Spanish might be a plus to your core fundamentals. Say you do business with them, whatever, right? Makes things easier, but you have to understand what's something that you do when you speak Spanish. You speak, and speaking something that you probably do often. You get it? Too many choices create fatigue, and it stretches you out too far. It doesn't bring any strength to you. For instance, someone could be very exhausted with the amount of choices they have when they wake up in the morning, and they don't have a clear and concise routine or pattern to follow through with, so they don't really start their day off right. It could be shown through a concise way to act when encountering different situations, but it's dependent on how frequent these situations occur for you. You agree to something, or you deny something, or you say something. Decisions you make based off the choices you have should be closely branched from what makes you really you. In shorter and simpler terms, what do you want to leave behind when you leave this earth, or what you'd want to say, your legacy? Once you follow through with that, the qualities you see based off of what other people are talking or saying about you or notice about you and decide to express to you would follow through. Talk about aligning yourself with love, and what your key through aligning yourself with the energy of love is identifying your passion and pursue it with love through relating it to almost everything that you put your time and effort to, even when you're asleep, how that relates to what you love and pursue yourself for, how you act, think, express yourself, everything. As soon as you have all those actions or whatever to different degrees relating to what you love, you'd want to focus on certain activities that bring you that joy and love that you want. This would bring more ease to you, like relating to the other example I had about languages. Learning a language that is better, that you'd use in more of an everyday setting, probably would be better to learn than a language that you only use when you travel to a place probably once every 3 or 4 years, or maybe embrace the process rather than resisting the inevitable based on the situation that you're in through these activities and why you're going to fall through with the activity, than rather not doing it. An example that I could draw towards this is not admitting a part of yourself that you've encountered mentally, physically, whatever, and it ends up being a part of yourself that defines you of who you are, or there's like a big bigger meaning towards what that thing is, towards your whole purpose in your life, and you're just inevitably just ducking it. You're just ducking it, but it's the inevitable. When talking about the inevitable, we could follow through with this next part is about divine forces. Say about this, you could think about it as dualities: right, wrong, good, bad, death, life, whatever, right? And those two perspectives could initiate through thoughts that you encounter in your life. Oh, I did this horribly, this is that, right? I did this good, if I do this it'd be good, right? So those two things would always be there, flowing through the mental sphere of things. These type of things are beyond your control, and if you try to encounter these face on, you're going to end up feeling like you're struggling. The reason why you're going to end up feeling like you're struggling is because there's resistance that you're posing towards negating the force of something that is and is what it is, and you're trying to say it isn't that, rather than saying I don't relate to that by encountering towards that thing or force or the unseen. What you can do is accept both sides of things, the duality. Once you accept those both things for what they are, you allow ecstasy and joy within your existence, because those two things do not define you. You can find out why you attract certain things through the consistent energy that you're bringing in to situations by indicating energy that moves in motion and where the force is, where the big dynamic things are occurring within that motion of energy and through what you're attracting, right? Say you're in a toxic relationship, but you recognize where the arguments are fueling up. After a certain point, you're going to be above what a thought and feeling is. You're just going to look at it as life's natural flow. And you can embrace this with joy through picking and leaving parts of these things that define you and branch off your true inner self that follows through the path of least resistance, that falls through with your individuality and what truly defines you. Something that I recognize about these divine forces that I like to mention within this video is from the Book of Lies, and one part is comedy. Pretty much individuals think they're in control, but they're really in the illusion of control of these primal natural forces of the universe. Really, because these natural forces dominate individuals and individuals think they have control over this. It's also in a perspective of a tragedy, because an individual might be cornered and confronted by these forces and they don't know what to do. And the real tragic part is they're just playing on one side of the duality of these forces, and they're just being pulled within the motions, not understanding what's really going on. Last thing I'd want to tell you about these divine forces is that you should embrace these forces with full passion and intensity, as they're just feelings and thoughts that, let's say, serve your purpose based off how you relate to it. Righteous Watcher, we out of limbo. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.